So now I'd like to get on to the main preview is Andre Robert Guerrero, sorry. Again, despite those tragedies at the moment in boxing it always comes back stronger, and it's as they say, the show goes on. And two fights, two welterweight matchups tonight that can really bring a smile back to the boxing community's face, and that's what we need right now, because I'm sure you all know it's been pretty low couple of months with the loss obviously of Manny Stewart. Now the tragic accident of Hector Camacho, and the news that Homer Henry's had. But obviously we wish Omar all the best and hope he makes a speedy recovery. So tonight's fight is Roberto Guerrero. Robert. It's because you always imagine him down to be a Mexican, so you always say Roberto, which Robert Guerrero. Yeah, it's a pretty Mexican name, isn't it, really? But he's fighting Andre Berto tonight. He's been skipping through the weights mega fast at the moment. Like 2011 last year, he had a big gap between his fight in April last year to a fight in July this year. So he's skipped from lightweight all the way up to welterweight in a pursuit of fighting Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather especially, and now he's got the toughest fight undoubtedly of his career, Andre Berto. People said controversy about him being let back into boxing after a positive drug test in his last fight. We've just got to take his word for it. It was although we don't want drugs in boxing, and fighters should be banned, but they should be given a short ban, a year ban, whatever, 6-month ban. I've never liked drugs in boxing. It's not part of the game. It doesn't make things fair, but drug tests are coming into it now, and if you get caught again, then you should be given a longer ban. You should be fined the whole purse, and so on. But if you test positive, if you test negative today for this fight, then I think it all can be forgotten. It was a one-off, and usually he got caught red-handed. The fight didn't go on. He lost his purse. He didn't make any money. He was the one who lost out, and he's hopefully learned from that. Much like Lyman Peterson, hopefully the fighters learn from this. We don't want the fights going ahead like it did with Morales after the fighters tested positive. That's not the way we want it to go, but we want the fight off, show called off, so it hurts the fans. It'll hurt the fans, and then it'll hurt the fighter, so the fighter will obviously demand then for it to be changed. But as I said, I'm going off that a bit. I don't even know what I'm talking about there, but my point is that fighters that make that mistake, whether it was a mistake on purpose, whether they took something and didn't know what was in it, trainers, whatever, or the purpose they took it. If they do it again, then obviously the ban should be longer, or maybe a ban for life. If a third time, say ban for life. But as long as it doesn't test positive for this fight, then everything should be really forgotten, apart from the fact that if he does it again, it's a longer ban. But Andre Berto, he's he's had a great career so far, apart from his loss to Victor Ortiz. But even that, he got some credit for that, being in an absolute war. One of the fights of the year in 2011. It was an absolute cracking fight. Before that, he's fought some very top fights. So I'm going to move this because leaning over gets a bit frustrating at times, and just want to feel a bit more, free when I'm doing this and I'm moving about. And but as I say, he's had a great career so far since becoming WBC welterweight champion. All the way back in 2008, beating Miguel Rodriguez. He's back to win many defences: Steve Forbes, Luis Calazo, Urango, Quintana, Hernandez, before losing his titles to Victor Ortiz. So he's had so far a great career, and then after his Ortiz defeat, got straight back in the ring, fought Jan Zavek for the IBF welterweight title. which Zavek retired after 5 rounds due to a cut of his right eye. Obviously, then there was the Victor Ortiz fight that got called off due to the positive drug test that he had. That would have been a great fight. Obviously, one that the fans obviously missed out a lot. That's what frustrates the fans more, not the fact they're taking drugs and trying to cheat the way. It's also the fact that he ruins great fights. A fight like that, we don't want to see. It always happens in these big fights, or at least that we hear about it. It upsets us because it would have been a great rematch. Ortiz, Berto, I think one we're all looking forward to seeing after the first fight. Ortiz has gotten more gun crazy with fighting, as we saw in the but to be fair, we couldn't complain too much because Ortiz Lopez was an absolute classic as well. Obviously, Ortiz going and losing that, which didn't back it up that much. Well, that he would have beaten Berto. So, but Ortiz is always going to be a great fight. So, we'd love to see an Ortiz Berto rematch, maybe next year. But first of all, it's a big challenge for Berto Guerrero. Guerrero's coming up again from lightweight. He's only fought once against Selke Hayden, and pretty much raw talent. Signed with Adam Booth this week. I don't know if you heard about that. Signed with British trainer Adam Booth. Trains George Groves, David Hay. Now signed, I think, Andy Lee as well. So we're adding more to his stable. But yeah, he's fought some top fighters. He fought Katsidis last year as well. What was obviously his last fight before his Hayden fight. Winning an unanimous decision. Comfortably, really. But, Escobedo, he also beat him on unanimous decision. So, Joel Casamaya, obviously much past his best, Casamaya would say. Before that, though, Daudcino Jordan. That was a no decision. Clash of heads. Yeah, that was the one that caused a bit of controversy about him. With it wasn't that bad a cut, and he pretty much said he doesn't want to continue. He also had a no decision against Salido for Salido testing positive for steroids. No, Salido's come back since and gave some great fights, and thankfully so far hasn't tested positive. Fingers crossed he won't. But he's lost early in his career. Gamaliel Diaz, not too in his career, but lost on a split decision. 12 rounds the first time he went that 12 rounds. And since then he's done well, not been beaten since, on a great run of form. But as I compared to Berto, it's hard to find those top class opposition that he's fought. This is a step up, obviously, again for him. Berto, I think, is a step up for him. Victor Ortiz is shown to be hot and cold, but when he's on his night, he's a quality fighter. Freddy Hernandez was never really much of a challenge, but knocking him out in the first round was a statement. Durango, the fact that Devon Alexander knocked him out at light welterweight didn't improve too much for that victory. He struggled against Calazo, but so do a lot of people. A lot of people struggled against him, and he was comfortable against Forbes. But yeah, he's obviously Zavek victory was crucial for him to get back into the scene, get back as a champion. Obviously lost that title. It's for the interim WBC welterweight title, whatever the hell that is. Just one of them titles. It doesn't really matter much about the title. It's the fact that it's a top quality fight between two of these, kind of the middlemen in the welterweight division, the contenders at the moment. They're not with the Pacquiao and the Mayweathers, but they're definitely probably just a bit below 4th, 5th rankings. And really, for both fighters, Guerrero's been talking it, saying he wants the Mayweather fight. Berto's in the same position right now, much like it was. This is the same position Berto was against Ortiz. He was expected to win that fight, and people were saying if Berto wins this, surely he's going to get a shot, and then the winner, whoever, Pacquiao or Mayweather. Ortiz won it, got the shot at Mayweather. So it's kind of redemption in a way, because he wants that shot now. Does Berto? You know, he missed out on it last time, and he doesn't want to miss out again. Obviously, that was his only defeat as well against two Ortiz, but in an absolute classic fight. Shows he can be dragged into a bit of a war. Got knocked down, obviously, twice. You know, once in that fight. No, twice. Sorry, twice. Was down twice. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since I've watched that fight. I was down twice. Dropped Ortiz. Down twice as well. You know, it was the turning point, wasn't it? That second knockdown, Ortiz scored. Berto was just looking like he was getting on top before Ortiz landed a cracking shot, changed the course of the fight, and really took over into a brawl after that. So this is an interesting fight. Guerrero's a boxer. He's obviously going to be a smaller man. He likes to. He has a tendency. He likes to sometimes fight tall. He did that a lot against Katsidis. Kept him on the end of the jab. Pretty much the same height, almost the same reach on both, half a inch. Berto has an advantage. So, but you see, Robert Guerrero fights more of a taller fighter. Berto, bigger, stockier fighter, he's going to want to rip in some hooks, uppercuts could be key. But again, he's a very technical fighter. He's big, like you see in almost his light heavyweight equivalent on Chad Dawson, but he's usually a very skilled boxer. Berto probably, neither fighter want to get into a war. Berto will probably press the action going forward. Guerrero will try and box off the back foot. It's a really 50-50 fight, and I can't call it like I'm 100%. I couldn't say Berto's going to win, or I couldn't say Guerrero's going to win, without kind of biting my tongue about it, without kind of thinking, but this could happen. So I'm going to slightly stick my neck on the line and say, for one reason only, he's going to win. It's the fact that he's a natural welterweight. He's been here the longest, and I'm going to say that Andre Berto, for that, he's going to win the fight. It's not like I'm saying it's going to be a close fight. I think maybe the winner will actually kind of dominate, but you don't. It's one of them you can't see who's going to actually come through and dominate the fight. So on a gut instinct, I'm just going to say Berto. He's the bigger fighter. He can kind of push Guerrero a bit. He'll become a very tactical fight. But I think, as I say, Berto, he's been in them wars. He's been against the top class fighters. Guerrero never struggled evading, but he wasn't completely dominant against him. And Hayden has moments, and he's like a real raw talent, really, raw prospect. So I'm going to go on that basis for Andre Berto to come out victorious from this fight in an interesting matchup, an interesting tactical fight, and I expect Berto to take the victory. So please leave comments at the bottom on who you think's going to win. If you've got a better, I've watched both fighters, but depends usually. The way the fight usually depends on their opponent, and these are two kind of boxers fighting each other. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes the front foot, who becomes a counter puncher, so on. Who can get a knockout? There's going to be one. You'd say Berto's got the more power, but I don't think he'll be able to catch Guerrero clean. So again, leave your comments if you got a better idea who's going to win. If you're more convinced of somebody than me, please leave comments at the bottom, and thank you for listening.